Welcome to EM Healing, which is hosted by myself, Mahatma Starseed. And when you dive into our episodes, you are going to be inspired to grow, to shift, to reflect on your inner wealth. If you are looking to find a new way of living, you have found it. So enjoy this wonderful episode that we're tuning into right now. Hello, peace and light, everyone. Welcome to EM Healings Moments with Mahatma. So I am just so thankful. I love to come in with my gratitude because it gives me the application to success. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for continuing your journey. And for those of you who are stepping into the EM Healing Zone for the first time, welcome, welcome. You are in the right place. And I know sometimes we often feel like, should I be here? Should I not be here? And most of the time, you just got to believe yourself. And the other half of the time, let me be the witness for you. Many people don't come across me just because by accident. It was definitely divinely aligned for you to witness what it is to heal today. And I have been coming into my healing, into my leveling up, getting myself to a full steam capabilities, one might say, and really pushing the bar on what it is that we are capable of, what it is that we can actually produce for ourselves, regardless of whatever medical blocks that we might be experiencing or obstacles. So we can ask ourselves, in today's episode, I wanted to, highlight a little bit more. I want to highlight a little bit more about, daily stressors. I was reading an article about, what are the top stressors that people are going to be experiencing, people are experiencing. And I came across this interesting article that was saying a lot more people are coming forward and actually saying they're stressed. And not that they're just stressed, they want to do something about it. So that was definitely a pleasant thing to hear. They said that was up from a previous article they did the year before. And it really is key for us to, really realize that a lot of us are starting to realize, life isn't all about being stressed. We don't need extreme stress to actually accomplish things. We can actually, apply our own stress, which is going to help us to move forward better. Applying your own stress over applying someone else's stress is always win, right? So think of it like some people won't get up out of the bed early in the morning because unless someone else is stressing them to pick them up, take them somewhere, or do something. So that's somebody else's stress that you're accepting to utilize as your fuel to get you up in the morning. This is ineffective stress because it's not authentic and you're forcing someone else's will onto your body, and that's very damaging, okay? It's like forcing something to come that's supposed to come out of an outflow and you're pushing it in as an inflow. Thinking about you can't exhale when you're trying to inhale, and you cannot inhale when you're trying to exhale. Go ahead and try that. But however, understanding proper stress is so important. And as a coach, that's one of the questions I usually will ask my clients, and have them rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. Where do you rate your stress level? And some people will, every once in a while, it doesn't happen a lot, but some people will try to say they have a 0 or 1 to 2 stress level. And I'm just like, that is absolutely not helpful. Like, that's just as bad as having a 9-10 stress level. The point is that we want to keep our stress in a medium place. We want to be applying enough stress that it's going to move us to progress, but we don't want to apply so much stress to where it's going to move us to digress. And also, we don't want to remove all the stress to where it's going to cause us to digress, because no progress, trust me, if you've ever seen something not being used, after a while it just deteriorates regardless of it not being utilized. So there's usage is definitely something that's going to be a big conversation this next year, because if people are looking to stress less and they want to find out how to do it, I'll tell you this: pay attention to your usage and see how much more efficiently you can get usage out of things, even yourself, your body. Really applying those choices and asking yourself, should I work out for 3 hours, or should I just work out for 2 hours? Should I only work out for 10 minutes, or should I work out for 40 minutes? Really apply that stress comfortably. Learning how to utilize yourself properly is what's really going to help you. I also wanted to mention another comment that article that was mentioned, because they had some medical comments in there, and I want to bring some linkage. Oftentimes, people that step into the spiritual way of healing, they tend to ignore all of the things that medical studies are finding. And I want to be that rule trumper right now to help us understand that being more spiritual does not mean you disassociate with medical clinical practices or studies. It just means that you have a heightened sense of awareness in order for you to be clear in what your focal point needs to be moving forward, which will seem different to the people around you because they're just on a different path, not because you shouldn't be doing it. And so we want to encourage ourselves about that. And so what they were saying, that the scientists at different universities, I believe, the doctors at different universities were saying that there's a collective fatigue happening, because everybody went through the pandemic together. So everyone is going to be experiencing similar simultaneous symptoms that we're going to need to figure out how to get to together as a community, because we're collectively experiencing this. And that means that it's like coming out of say, I love analogies, y'all. This is how I help you to visualize. This is how I help myself to visualize too, because it helps me to utilize the proper usage. I don't try to over pitch or under pitch. So it's kind of like, a woman giving birth to multiple babies at one time. They all come into the world at the same time. So that means they all got to learn how to feed together. They all got to learn how to go to the bathroom together at the same time, right? They all go and learn how to dress themselves around the same time. And so this is the similarity that you can look at as opposed to everyone coming out of the pandemic around the same time. And how some people may still be stuck in their pandemic experience, and they're not trying to be fully birthed into this new world. All right. So, let your mind go a little bit crazy about that, because there's so many occurrences where, a woman's trying to have a baby, and maybe the baby, if they're having twins or multiples, they can come out like 20 minutes apart sometimes. Or maybe the babies will come out a couple of minutes after each other. But ultimately, it's still all the same, because we're still being birthed on that same day, and we're still going to have to go through the same Joneses. And as things grow, yes, some people are going to progress easier, and some people are going to progress slower. And why is that? It's because of how we stress ourselves. Some people, they know how to effectively stress themselves. So regardless of how experienced they may or may not be, they'll be able to get through a situation smoother simply because of how they identify with stress in life. And so we want to learn how to highlight for ourselves what it looks like for someone to be effectively stressing through life, right? And someone who's ineffectively stressing on life. And where do you fall in that? Think about it. I'm drinking my morning tea. Had an amazing time with my family this weekend, and my voice is a little, a little harsh, but I am so happy that I applied effective stress for myself. Looking back, I had a very busy day, the day I needed to drive out there. And so I had to put myself in a situation that put me in a little bit heightened stress, but I was able to identify, how much I can handle it, how much I cannot handle it. Side note, I had my magic mind with me this weekend, and that helped me to get through the night, because usually my fatigue is extreme and I'm not always able to be that at least 75% of my full capabilities. And I made sure I had my magic drink, and it helped me I had the ability to be with my family. I had the ability to then go out with my family for an after party and really just bond and, process some energy, transmute some energy. Does all my family know that that's happening? Honestly, I don't stress myself so much. I just have been learning to just love myself, put myself in situations that are not going to be so stressful. And I'm getting further along, because to be successful, we deserve to have our business and family right next to each other. They should be the balancing pillars to keep the spirit moving forward. That's how I feel. That's what helps me to get through. That's what a lot of intuitive mentors will end up saying to you, because at the end of the day, we need to be sandwiched in with our greatness. And our family has always been our greatest reward, our greatest blessing. And being in business has always been, such a satisfying path to take for so many people. However, a lot of people haven't found the right modality to encompass both of them. And so when you find individuals that have that ability to encompass both of them, you really going to want to just take in some steps and some measures that are going to help you to adapt to that as well in your own life. Because I'll be honest, I love my family, and I believe I deserve to be around my family, and I shouldn't have to give up being around my family because I got so much work to do. So I made it work. I got a lot of work done. I was able to, I was staying in one place, had to go to another place because I left my magic mind and was staying somewhere else. And I was like, I'm not going any further without my magic mind. So I went and drove back to go get it. I got to order me some more, actually, because it just, the benefits of taking it have just been so stress relieving. I can do a lot more things. I can be consistent in these things I'm doing. Sometimes, I can do this here, I can do that there, but then I would have to take 2 or 3 weeks of doing nothing because I went out to a family party, because I did this, because I did that. And so being able to just really read all of my system has been really progressive. I work on doing more body scans, making sure that throughout the week I'm applying movement and pressure to it, applying self-care to the body. Self-care is such a great stress reliever. For those of you that get all the way up to a 10, Throw a couple of self-care habits in there throughout the week, the month, and see how much your stress reduces. It's stre- stress is not something to play with. Don't think that it's just gonna go away. Oh, it'll go away right now, but it's don't mean it's not gonna come back. So we have to properly apply things that are gonna help alleviate, our stress. There's some fixed stress in our life, you know. The biggest stressors that we are all experiencing are like divorce, death, moving, getting a new job, sickness. These are things that are they're inevitable. They're going to stress us in some way. There's no way that you can possibly see that you're going to forever, the whole life you live, you're never going to move or you're never going to get sick. Some people get lucky, they never get divorced. But if you really want to be spiritually inclined, if you really want to be intuitive, there's some other things that we need to divorce in life than our partner. So it's what you're looking at. Some people need a divorce being antisocial, like divorce that behavior, let it go, let it move on, let someone else be antisocial. You don't need to hold on to that trophy, that title. Let go and let live in another reality. We don't have to own everything forever. We don't have to be married to everything forever. And when you can start looking at what you're committed to as a marriage, you'll start seeing who and what you need to divorce in life and see how that will reduce your stress, which is so key. If you reduce your stress, or AKA balance your stress, you'll see more growth and progress naturally. And that's what a lot of us are hinting at. Get some natural foundation of living in your life. So I'm going to wrap up this episode for today with some empowered tips because, we were speaking about stress. I hinted on some self-care functions for ourselves. But what you really want to do is that I encourage the audience is create your own reports and diagnostics of yourselves. The big thing that people are doing and are loving, especially when you come through my programs that I offer. I even have it to where you can just get a piece of the program and go through a 21-day cleanse. It's a worldly and conversational cleanse, and it helps you to really redefine how you are showing up in life and how you are able to speak to your life, in your life, and to the people around you. That's what my 21-day cleanses. I have about 3 different ones that you can choose from. In June, I have individuals that can have the ability to go through the 99-day safe space community process where you'll get not just support from a mentor, you're also going to get community support from other safe space members who have completed the identical process as you, so they can help you and support you as you go through that journey. On a personal end, what you can do, like I was saying, create a report about yourself. Have I paid attention to all of my body parts? Have I give self-care to my legs? Have I given self-care to my arms? Have I given self-care to my torso? Have I given self-care to my neck, my head? And start rating yourself and see, can my process of life expand or be enhanced in order to improve the visible levels of successful growth, so that I can then help myself continue moving forward, being happy, being resilient, being determined, and or helping others in our life to grow as well with us. Because when you allow yourself to grow, countless others get so much space to grow right along with you. So open up a little bit more about who you are to yourself today and see what that invites into your world tomorrow. Until next time, this is Mahatma Starseed, and don't forget to tune into the next episode of our sound healing so that you can reflect and possibly take that moment to write that little report. And if you want to learn more about the Magic Mind, go to www.magicmind.co/EM, and my discount code is EM20 when you're ready to place that order. Peace and light.